What's up, guys? Welcome back to Dive In Garage. Today is the day we're gonna put our budget 350 small block Chevy build back in Hank. Let's dive in. Alrighty, here we go. Kind of a nasty day out, but it's all good. We'll get Hank pulled in the garage here in a bit. Let's go check out the engine bay. Oh, good. No one stole the torque converter. Alright, yeah, we got a lot of cleaning up to do. I really want to attack that back wall with a pressure washer and hit it with a coat of some paint. I'll show you which one I'm going to use, and then maybe touch up a few other things. Yeah, I'm just getting it's really just crusty in here. I could drop it in like this, no problem, but this is a good opportunity to get it cleaned up, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, you got that cleaned up. I hit that back firewall with some of this stuff here. Some Eastwood underhood black, a little bit textured. Which, by the way, if you've never been to Eastwood, you need to go. Alright, so that's looking a little less awful, so not bad. Yeah, which, by the way, also, if anybody knows what that 465 back there, man, let me know. I've always wondered and never known. Appreciate it. And, yep. Alright, one step closer. Let's keep going. Alrighty, now before we go getting too crazy, putting chains on the engine and all that, what we need to do first is make sure that everything's getting oil. So I got that valve cover off, and I got this one. I tightened down some of the bolts on the studs there, and we're going to use our oil fill for the first time. Now let's see if I can do this without making a mess. Honestly, I doubt it. So far, so good. Oh, did I mention I only tightened the bottom two nuts on those valve cover studs? That's okay, right? No leaks yet. That I see, anyway. Oh, also, while we're here, I did some testing on the intake, see if it's sealed up. I got some comments about the gaskets not sealing right, and while I do have some others on standby over there, I thought I'd give it a quick test. I'll put up a picture right here, and this is a very scientific way to check for intake leaks, right? I figured it'd at least give me an idea. Let me know what you think. Alright, check that out. Just about done. Boom. Alright, let me go grab that additive from Comp. By the way, this is Bonnie. You'll see her in the video soon. Alright, this stuff here is what I'm talking about. Braking additive. Again, not sure if it's required, but I don't think it would hurt a thing. So let's go ahead and throw this in there. Oh, this is like glue. My goodness. Oh, check this out. For the vacuum reference for the Turbo 350 I'm running, picked up a 90-degree 3/8 MPT to AN4. So that that black adapter will go to the AN4, or I guess it's not AN4, it's a 1/4 inch rubber hose that goes down to the transmission. Pretty trick. And I also got to show you how to make how I make braided hose lines. We'll get there in just a little bit. Alright, I'll let that drain in. Alright, so now that we got that filled up, what we need to do is make sure that the oil pump is sending oil to each one of the push rods on both sides. So to do that, we're going to use our oil pump priming tool. Only other thing you'll need is you'll need to borrow a distributor gasket. And we're going to put this in just like a distributor. See if I can do this one-handed here. Ooh. All right, here we go. So then this goes in just the same way there. And then you need to find your oil pump. Just keep turning it, you'll find it. There we go, boom, drops in just like that. Boom, there we go. Okay, cool, so now what you want to do is go ahead and bolt this sucker down. Just hand tight, probably fine. Then what we're going to do is get our drill, and we're going to spin this part here, and that'll shoot oil everywhere we need it to go. So let's do it. All right, this is the setup here. Got the drill. Make sure you're in drill mode, and you're going to want to be on high speed. And then don't forget your filter. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, I see what's happening here. So my chuck is actually just slipping on there. Let me get that tightened down real good. And this is why we use a gasket. So you see, look at all this trash here. You don't want that going in there. So use a gasket and clamp it down so we can just blow it off towards the back. All right, let's give that a shot. I got it tightened down pretty good. Let's see if we can get some oil going. There it is. There we go. You should feel quite a lot of resistance. Oh! This is hard on your drill too, so fair warning. I might have to get the impact out. Okay, change of plans. So I couldn't get any oil up on this whole side of the engine with my primer tool. So what I did was I grabbed an old distributor, took the guts out. Changing the gear is really easy. There's just a pin that goes right here, and then you just smack the rod through the end. So now what I did real quick was I shot it once with the drill, and I'm pretty sure her oil shooting out of somewhere. So let's give this another rip and see if we can get some oil pressures. Oh, here we go. Yeah, buddy, look at that. It's coming out now. Now I'm gonna check the other side. Oh yeah, look at that. We got some there. I'm gonna keep going just to make sure. Oh, overheated my drill. Oops. Alright, well, everything seems to be okay. I'll keep going and see if I can get some oil to come out of there. Check this side again. Oh yeah, this thing's loaded with oil. This one's a little slow too. I mean, it makes sense, it's farther from the pump, but I'll keep going to see if I can get oil to come out of there. Alrighty, I think that's going to do the trick. I was here for quite a while, ran through a whole battery, and I'm not going to lie, there's not a ton of oil dumping out of there, but there is some. Like, of course, this, what is this, 7? This number 7 is dumping oil. It's right by the oil pump though, right? That's number 8, same, dumping oil. It's coming out decent here on number 2. So, overall not bad. I'm going to clean up, bolt these valve covers down, and we're going to go with it. Oh, real quick up here too, update. So on this cloise timing cover, there's a little screw, that guy, see that guy right there? So when I had tightened down the balancer, those were touching. And then I went to rotate the engine just to try and help, see if maybe that was a problem of the oil not going where it should be. And I felt this grinding. I was like, oh no. But I took a closer look. It looked like, I said, these bolts were, where'd it go? That bolt there was touching. And also over here, that bolt there, now it just barely clears. So that'll work. Just something else to check if you're doing a cloise timing cover. Make sure all of your little bolts clear. Alright, so real quick, for the cam I'm using, I have to change the gear on the distributor. So the best way to do this is obviously you put it in a vise. And then if you have one of these bad boys, just so happens that this 5/64 long punch works perfect. So all you got to do, get that in there like that, tap her through, And then over here, there's a flat side. If you can see that or not. There's a flat side of the long bar that goes through here, and you just tap it out, and then just switch out the gear, make sure it's seated, put that pin back through, and you're done. Nice and easy. Alright, well, we got issues. This is my new distributor gear for the cam, melanized steel, and I don't know if it was a part issue or what, but it's the wrong size. So over here, I got the distributor with the gear taken off. So I thought I could just bore it out, right? Nope. My drill bit wasn't even scratching this thing. I did have the right size, but just not able to cut it. So I guess for now, I'll go ahead and get the engine installed, and then we can get the distributor in later. Which sucks, but it's really not that huge of a deal. We still got it at top dead center, so we could just drop it in, no problem. I just would have liked to have done it on the stand. Oh well, moving on. Alrighty, so this is gonna be my lifting setup. Got a 3/8 bolt through there. This big chain. I got a shirt here just to prevent from scratching everything up too bad. I'm just gonna grab it from right here in the middle, and then in the back, same deal. Bolt in the head, just a little t-shirt. Perfect. So like I said, I'm gonna grab it from right here in the middle, and then I need to get the 2 freeze plugs in the back and get the flex plate bolted on, and then we can throw it in the truck. Now, if you're worried about using bolts like I am, don't worry, I'm nervous too. Alright, now the fun begins. Let's see if we can get this in there without hurting it. What do you think? Comment below. Am I going to drop this beast? Oh yeah, we're going all the way up, by the way. I got a trick too for the hood. If you're wondering how I'm going to clear the hood with this, I got a trick for you. Alright, we'll stop there for now. let's go check out that hood. Again, if you're by yourself, this is not enough room. But see that bracket there? That bracket there? Those hood brackets? Well, guess what? If you remove those two bolts right there, and then the same two on the other side, then the rear bolt becomes your pivot, and this whole thing can go as high as you want. You can even lay it all the way back on the windshield if you want. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a prop in here, probably somewhere like right there, and then make sure it's secure. So we put the engine in. We can get this thing as high as we need it. Let's do it. There's that one. All right, it's okay if it falls a little bit. The one you're gonna have to worry about is once you do that side. So grab yourself something strong and long. No, that's not gonna work. But maybe this will. Yeah, it should work, right? It might actually be too long. Yeah, it's too long. There we go. Let's try this guy. Just for now, something so we can catch it so it doesn't fall or decapitate us. Sheesh. All right, now just in case, put our hand up here. All right, stick got it? Cool, stick's got it. All right, so now we can push it up and then we can get something even longer and prop it in there. Maybe let me try that piece of angle again. And what you also will have to do is, you see this right here? If you try and just push it up, that's gonna catch. So you have to sort of pop these out. And you can just use whatever. You can use a screwdriver and just jam it out of there. There we go, just like that. Now you can go as high as you want. Just make sure you get a good catch somewhere. Like there. Ah, here we go. Got a nice cross there. Yeah, I'm gonna move that. Don't worry. Don't worry. Bam. How about that? That'll work. Cool. So now, if it's a windy day, make sure you put some sort of strap or a ratchet strap, keeping it down this direction, because you don't want that to go back on your windshield if you don't put it there. All right, so at this part, you want to make a choice. These wheels are going to go off of the lip of your garage, and you're going to continue, or you bring the truck in. I had planned to bring the truck in, but it's not raining anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and push the lift out, because once it's out, the engine will be off of it. We won't need to bring it back. But just in case it does, or if it does, I'll show you a trick. Cool. That was a trick, by the way. If you get a long piece of pipe, if you get stuck, you get jammed, whether it's on a lip or something, put that long piece of pipe inside the leg and you have a lot more leverage. All right, now is a good time to ask yourself, did you torque the main caps? All right, check it out, sitting in there. Still got plenty of things to tighten up, button up, making progress. It almost looks too good to be sitting in there. All right, y'all, it's been a couple days, we're back at it. I had to overnight some parts. I did get the distributor gear for the distributor, and I got the right size one and the right material, so that's all good to go now. I put it on already. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and install the distributor. I'll show you the way I do it, and I'm going to reprime the oil pump real quick before I put that Dizzy in. Alright, now, if you ever owned a square body, you've probably found yourself in this position before. I don't mind it one bit. I think it's awesome to be able to get in there and do what you need to do right up close and personal. So let's get this oil pump primed. Same deal as before, we're going to use our old distributor. Pop this down there. Make sure we get a good prime, and then we'll put our distributor in. Alright, we're going to call that good right there. Alright, so now that we got our distributor, we're going to throw some assembly lube on the gear here and then drop it in. Alright, so once you got the distributor gear lubed up, go ahead and set it down, and what you're looking for is we want the rotor to point at the number 1 cylinder, but it's not going to go all the way down, and that's okay. So let's go ahead and try and stab it a few times to see if we can get that rotor pointed at number 1. Bam. Just like that. Alright, so you can see clearly, center pointed at number 1. We do have a little bit of a gap. That's okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to use our studs down there in the balancer, and we're going to use a pry bar to rotate the engine over while we're pressing down gently on the distributor, and it'll fall down the rest of the way as it mates with the oil pump. Let's do it. Alright, y'all. Got issues. I don't know what exactly is the problem, but this is what's going on. So, if you look here, the distributor is sitting, but there's still a gap. I'm going to call it 1/4 inch, maybe even 1/2 inch. See, I get my finger under there. But what's happening is the distributor gear is falling all the way through the cam gear, and then it'll engage the oil pump, but then I can spin the motor and it'll miss the distributor completely. And it's engaging, the distributor's engaged. So if like the distributor is here, the cam gear is up here. So this is spinning cam, but the distributor is staying still. It's not moving at all. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to get this figured out. I was planning on firing up the motor today. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I'll bring you back when I got updates. After a couple hours of troubleshooting, measuring, and pulling my hair out, I think I got it figured. Let me show you. So I got an example here with some old parts. So you got your distributor drive shaft, oil pump drive shaft, distributor gear, obviously camshaft. So when this is all in the engine, this turns like this, right? This turns, it stays in one place. And then your distributor is spinning this way while your cam is spinning this way. The gears mesh, everything's happy, right? I think what's going on here is that this is the way it should mesh. So you can see there, plenty of meat, looks good. I think what I'm experiencing is this. See how it's barely biting? And what happens is this. Yep. Ate 2 teeth on my new gear. So that sucks. So what we're going to do is we're going to try one of these. Alright, this is what it looks like. Bolt it on there nice and tight. Got a fresh gear. Let's try this again. Alright, now let's see how this goes with our collar. Well, it might have meshed. Let's do this. I'm going to put the hold down on, crank it down. Let's throw the starter in and see if we can get some oil pressure with the starter. If we can get oil pressure with the starter, then we'll know that everything's meshed and we're ready to go. Let's talk starters. Now, if you look at this, you'll see right away this is not a direct drive starter. For good reason. This is a permanent magnet gear reduction, or PMGR, mini starter. And you'll see these on all the websites, Summit, Jags, what have you. But let me give you a little tip. If you get one of those from Summit or Jags or wherever, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. My only issue with that is this is an automatic. So if my starter dies, I may not have time to wait even overnight a new starter. I want to be able to get one now, right? So this is a starter from a 1996 K1500. Bolts right up to your Gen 1 small block Chevy. So why am I using this one? Well, a few reasons. One, smaller, lighter. And I like the way that it spins the motor over faster. And there's nothing wrong with direct drive starters. But let me give you a little tip too. So if you look on the back here, you'll see the main stud coming from the solenoid to the gear reduction. And then you'll see two other posts. This post goes to your battery here, and this post goes to your 12-volt lead to your wiring harness. But on a direct drive starter, there are two of these smaller posts, and this is when you get tripped up. So they're on one of the posts, it has an S, and the other post, it has an R, I believe. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's S and R. And the S port, or the S stud, is for points ignition. The R stud is for HEI. If you try to put your HEI ignition on your points stud, you're gonna have issues. The biggest one I could describe to sum it up, it'll be inconsistent. Some days it'll start great, sometimes it'll start awesome, sometimes it won't start at all, sometimes you'll have to crank it for 10 minutes. Other times you'll be driving along fine, you'll get to a stop and it'll wanna die. Ton of different issues. It has to do with the way that it delivers power. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but just know that. So if you wanna get around that totally, get one of these guys. Go to your favorite auto parts store, AutoZone, O'Reilly, Advance, whatever. They're gonna have a starter for a 1996 K1500, guaranteed. So I'm gonna slap this in and let's try and turn the motor and see if we can build some oil pressure. All right, let's see what we can do. There we go. Man, I can't wait to redo all this interior. It's gonna be great. I'll bring you guys along. All right. The battery looks a little low. Let's see. Hop in here. There we go, watching that guy right there. Oh yeah, battery is so low. I might have to stick it on the charger for a while. Well, that's not helpful. When I crank it, all my gauges are going out. Yeah, I might have to stick this on the charger. Let's come back. All right, y'all, let me show you the way I make end lines. There are plenty of methods out there. I'll tell you what doesn't work: the tape and the hacksaw. So you got your line, you got some fittings over here. You can go ahead and want to gear up. You can do ears, eyes, and I'll put on some gloves. And really the trick here is a zip tie. And I'll show you what I mean. All right, so you can see I have one zip tie already kind of prepped. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna cut off all this trash. We're gonna get a clean cut. And the way I cut braided steel and lines, you just clamp it gently in your vise. I use my cutoff tool, right angle, and then all you gotta do is just come straight down. Alright, sorry for the compressor in the back. You see what I just did there? I slid the zip tie to the very end immediately after cutting it. So then you can get your side cutters, clean up any of this trash here. If you got any weird frays, clean those up too. You know, it's going to want to push your zip tie off. Just get it close to the edge, don't let it go too far. And like I said, clean up any little frays that are coming out, because that's going to prevent you from getting a good seat in your fitting. Alright, but you see there, got it cleaned up pretty flat. You see there how I'm able to slide that zip tie around? That's the trick, right? So with tape, once it's there, it's there. And you can't, when you lift it up, then all that does is bring the phrase with it, so that's not helpful at all. So now you get your end. Yep, you get your end here. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of do one for one. Slide this on and push and pull the zip tie back. Alright, so even right here, the hose is already inside the fitting. So if you need to, you can grab the zip tie, work it back. Just grabbed a little pick here to help me slide this thing back. Alright, now we're running into our vise. I'll loosen this just a little bit, move it forward, tighten it back down so we can keep working. And just keep working that zip tie back, and you're fitting on the line. And you want it to bottom out in there. You don't want to try to set this with the hose not all the way bottomed out in the fitting there. That's why you wear gloves. Right there. Alright, so now I'm pretty sure the hose is all the way in there. Once we're done with the zip tie, we can cut it. We're done with that. And then just make sure you work this all the way down to the bottom. Twist it a little bit. Once it's in there, you can kind of twist it around a little bit. There we go. So that's all the way down. You saw that part. Now we need to get our fitting in there, right? So go ahead and put this in your vise here. And yeah, I know there are those inserts that go into your vise for this, but this works just fine. Alright, and then for this one, I'm going to use my 90 degree. We're just going to get that going in there. If you're wondering what brand these fittings are, good old Evil Energy. Alright, and what I'm doing here is I'm spinning here, but I'm pushing in. So that way you're, as you're tightening the fitting, it's not pushing your line out. And then again, keep pushing. I'm pushing with my left hand and spin with my right. And you get it to where it's just a tiny little gap, about a 1/16. Go just a little more. Right there. One hose end done. This end's going to go to our carburetor. I'm going to measure and then cut the length that'll meet the rest of our fuel system. But that's it. Yeah, like I said, if you want to prevent it from getting all banged up and shoot up, you can get those little inserts. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm not really too worried about it. Alright, so a bit of an issue with the number 3 cylinder spark plug. Had to adjust the header there, if you can see. And then I went ahead and did a spark plug boot, just in case. It's a little closer than I'd like, but it's alright. Carb's all hooked up, ready to go. We need to test the new fuel line to see if there's any leaks. Distributor's ready to go. Everything's all in time. Let's see, headers are hooked up. Trans is hooked up. Everything, I mean, there's nothing left. other than to spin this key and fire this pig up. Whew, man, so nervous. You know, that feeling you're starting up an engine for the first time. A couple things that are weird so far, but we're gonna give it a shot. The battery's a little low. I boiled it all night. I don't know if I got enough going on there. Oh, it'd probably help if I hooked the throttle pedal up. Hold on. All right, got that hooked up. That'll work as a retainer, right? All right, let's see what she does. Okay, fresh fuel, low battery, of course. Let me give her a couple shots here. And hold on to your butt. Yes! Man, that fired right up. That's what I'm talking about. I got 0 oil pieces though. So I did take off a 1/16 off of that, that collar, but maybe I didn't do enough. I don't know, let me figure that out. All right, so we're figuring out the oil issues with the truck here. I went ahead and dropped the oil pump and found that the shaft wasn't fully engaged on the oil pump. So the oil pump was doing this, there you go, in the engine. And also found out there was a massive air bubble in here. So I'm gonna make sure this is dropped down, get the air out of here, throw it back in the truck. After about a week of pulling my hair out, I finally figured out why this distributor was giving me so much trouble. Turns out, I installed the distributor gear upside down. Yeah, I know, rookie mistake. Well, let's get it corrected, get this thing fired up.
Because it's
All right, getting this thing cooled down. Right now I'm just running distilled water. Oops. I'm just running distilled water now. No reason to fill it up with antifreeze. Need to check for leaks still. Had a couple oil leaks, that's to be expected. I'll get those sorted out, no big deal. But Hank is alive. Super happy, man. Freaking pumped. It's been way too long. Way too long. No major oil leaks. I got a little one back here on the valve cover. Let's check this other side. This side looks bone dry, so I'm talking about. All right, y'all, we got it going. We're gonna take a quick pause for today. Take the family out to dinner. Catch you back up tomorrow. Now, when it comes time to time your engine, there's a bunch of different ways to do it, a bunch of different opinions and stuff out there, but let me just do an overview of what each component does, so you can get a grip of what's going on here. So obviously your distributor back there, that's the king of this puzzle here. So I have it loose, so I can reach way back there, you see, to where I can turn it just a bit. That's where you want to start at. And you want to start with your ported timing unplugged, and I'm just going to run a vacuum gauge. And also, you want to make sure you got a timing light ready. Let me get mine out. This little guy right here is all you need. So pretty simple, connects to power, and then over there, that little clip you see is the #1 spark plug wire, and it is melted because when I first started doing this, I would put it way down here by the #1 spark plug, but you don't need to do that. Just put it on the #1 spark plug wire up there, and since mine melted, I put a little clip on it, it works just fine. So this is the actual timing gun here. Just got a little light in there, it flashes when it detects signal from the #1 spark, and it's got this dial back here. So what you want to do is start here at 0, and then you're going to reference your timing mark on your balancer. So what we're going to end up with, what we're going to start with is somewhere between 12 to 20 degrees of initial timing. And that initial timing is set when you rotate your distributor. When you rotate it this way, that's what sets your initial timing. You rotate it to your right to advance it, and to your left to retard it. Just think about the way the distributor rotates. That'll make sense. So inside the distributor are some springs and some weights. That's their centrifugal timing advance. And as the engine spins up, those weights will come apart based on the springs you have in there, and those can set the different times and amounts you want them to advance the timing. And you can add different bushings. There's a bunch of different things you can do in there, but just understand your initial timing is when you turn it. Your centrifugal timing, it's hard to say, is when the engine is already turning and those weights expand. And you can adjust all of those things. And the part that really gets everyone confused is that guy right there. That is your vacuum advance. A lot of different debate on when and why to use it. I'm gonna try and use it because this is gonna be a street and tow and rig. So I wanna make sure I got that. And if you look in that little nipple right there, you can put in a 3/32 Allen key and you can adjust how much timing that thing adds. And you can even buy different ones, so where it'll come in at different times, different rates, but I'll show you how that works. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna see where we're at timing wise with the way it is here, check it with the timing light, and then we'll make adjustments based off of that. First thing you're going to want to do is let your truck warm up. You want to do all this stuff with the engine warm, so we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, so now that the engine is off of the choke, it's got some heat in it, we're going to get the timing light and I'm going to check and see how much timing is in there right now. Alright, so I did turn it a little bit to make sure to stay on. Right now it's running about 30 degrees before top dead center. For idle, that's quite a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and back it off, and you'll notice when I back it off, the engine's gonna go bog down a little bit. You hear that RPM change? Alright, so let's check it again. That was about 24 degrees of timing now. Let's see if I can bump it down to 20. Let's go a little more. Alright, that right there is 20. So as you can see, I'm running 20 degrees. Let's see if I can get you in here while I'm running it. There you go, you see it there? You see how you can catch the line when the light flashes? That's how you know what timing you're at. So right now we know we got 20 degrees of timing. And if we want to use our ported vacuum, well, this needs to be 0. Right now we're pulling about 12. So this is the dance, right? If you want to use your ported vacuum, that has to be 0. Otherwise, you're going to be vacuum advancing at idle, and so it'll be a little erratic when you want to come to a stop. It may start to die on you because it's using that vacuum advance to stay alive. So you want it just to be able to run without the vacuum advance. So you need to get that dialed in first. So the solution here is to lower the idle, right? So let's grab our idle adjustment tool and give it a shot. There you go, see how it changed? Now we're running about 10, let's say 8. We're gonna give this a shot and see if we can bump the timing up a little bit. We'll see how it goes. And as you're doing this, you need to be checking here. So now we're running 8. And then go back and check your timing too. because you want to make sure you're not using any of that centrifugal, man, I can't say that, timing. Let's call it the distributor rotating timing to keep your engine alive. So this should still be 20 when I check it. Yeah, we're still good. We're at 20 still. So we're not using any of that rotating timing to keep the engine alive. It's staying alive with no vacuum advance and no rotating advance. So perfect, we're doing good. We're almost there. We're running about 10 inches of vacuum still. So let's go check what RPM we're running at. That thing sounds good, doesn't it? Oh man, that sounds great. All right, woo, that's a little low. We're at about 750 idle. And that's we're out of the choke circuit also. You want to make sure you stay out of there. So let's go ahead and bump this a tiny bit to get the RPM up, and we'll see if we can bring that ported vacuum down. Do a little nudge. We'll go check our RPM, then we'll check our vacuum. Bumped it up to about 9 maybe. Alrighty, I'm back. Run inside real quick. Back at it. All right, again, I got about 850 to 900 on the RPM. We're still running about 10 inches of vacuum. All right, so we might be in a position where our throttle blades are too closed, so it's not letting the engine run quite right. So let me throw a little bit of timing at it, see if we can get it to come back alive. All right. Well, we may not be able to use that ported vacuum. Don't know if it's got enough base idle to keep it alive. Let's try right there. Now we're running about 950, just under 1,000. So we're looking at about 10 to 12 inches of vacuum. So that's not ideal for ported. You just might need more than this. This is I'll call it a medium duration cam. It's a 230, 236. So if it was maybe say a stock cam or a really mild cam like a 180 or a 210, probably could use it, but it might just be that it's such a long duration that it needs more base idle to stay alive. All right, this little road I like to use for testing. We'll throw it down in first, see how she does. There we go. Yeah, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. All right, we're coming back around here. Let's see if we can do a little launch. This is a stock converter, so we're only gonna get up to about 1,500. All right, do a little foot brake launch. Let's see. Down first. And go. Whoa, dang it! Oh man. All right, came back after that quick rip. Smelled burning, I don't know, rubber or whatever. Anyway, this valve cover is dumping oil. Oh man. I can try to tighten it, but I think, I don't know, I need to figure something out. This thing just won't seal on this other side. Perfectly fine, nice and dry. What's up with that, man? All right, y'all, I'm gonna call that a wrap. Hank's alive, running and driving. Got a couple things I'm gonna do still, but hey, projects are never really over, are they? Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for watching the channel, all the videos. I appreciate if you like and subscribe. Don't be afraid to get out there and dive in your next project. Catch you next time. All right, out for a little cruise. Everything's going good. Good oil pressure, good water, voltage, all of it. Low on gas, but we'll go get some. Hey, taking my family out for some ice cream. It's a well-deserved reward. Just taking some side roads here. Got it up to speed, felt good, and just taking it easy on this new engine. We'll get into it a little bit more later. Overall, feels smooth. Or nice and cool too. Layla, do you hear that?
Yes.
What's that sound?
That's the sound of America for you.
That's the sound of America, she says.